Most people think strength is about intensity. They're wrong. Real strength is emotional restraint. It's the ability to stay calm when provoked, silent when disrespected, focused when everything is trying to pull you off course. If someone can trigger you, they control you. If rejection shakes you, it owns you. If chaos moves you, you are not free. This audiobook will teach you how to become emotionally unavailable. Not cold, not distant, but disciplined. A mind so stable that nothing can reach it. That's the real power. Chapter 1: Stop reacting to everything. Most people lose power without realizing it. Not because they are weak. Not because they lack intelligence. But because they react. They react to words. They react to tone. They react to disrespect. They react to inconvenience. And every reaction costs them something. Overreaction is self-sabotage. Every emotional outburst drains leverage. Every impulsive response bleeds respect. Every uncontrolled reaction hands authority to someone else. That's the truth most people don't want to hear. You don't lose control when someone insults you. You lose control when you respond without discipline. That's the key. You have a choice. Always. Reaction is automatic. Response is deliberate. Reaction is emotional reflex. Response is controlled execution. Reaction is weakness disguised as honesty. Response is strength disguised as calm. And most people live their entire lives reacting. They say, "That's just how I am." No. That's how undisciplined you are. It's not about being emotional. It's about emotional control. That's the difference between chaos and command. You have a choice. Let's break this down where it actually matters. In relationships, reaction destroys attraction and respect. When you instantly react to criticism, jealousy, silence, or rejection, you signal insecurity. You show that your emotional state is easily moved. And when someone can move you, they can control you. It's not about love. It's about discipline. At work, reaction is career suicide. You react to a sharp email. You react to a dismissive comment. You react to pressure with visible frustration. And suddenly, you're no longer seen as reliable. You're seen as emotional, unstable, predictable. Predictability is weakness. Leaders are not reactive. They are responsive. They absorb pressure without leaking emotion. They listen without interrupting. They wait before they speak. That's the key. In daily life, reaction turns small inconveniences into identity-level stress. Traffic, slow service, minor disrespect, online comments. None of these things matter. But your reaction to them trains your nervous system to live in chaos. Every time you react, you reinforce a habit. And habits compound. It's not about anger. It's about control. You have a choice. Here's the hard truth. Most people don't react because they're provoked. They react because they're undisciplined. They feel something. And they immediately obey it. That's not honesty. That's weakness. Feelings are signals, not orders. That's the key. Discipline begins with the pause. The pause is where power lives. The pause is where you reclaim authority. The pause is where reaction dies and response is born. You don't need their permission to pause. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to justify silence. Silence is not avoidance. Silence is control. Here is the first rule you will live by. For small triggers, pause for 10 seconds. 10 seconds before you speak. 10 seconds before you text back. 10 seconds before you fire off a reply. That space interrupts the emotional reflex. It gives your rational mind time to step in. Most people never give themselves that space. And that's why they stay reactive. You have a choice. For big decisions, the rule is non-negotiable. 24 hours. No major decision. No emotional conversation. No life-altering response happens in the heat of emotion. If it feels urgent, that's exactly why you wait. Urgency is emotion trying to hijack you. That's the key. You don't need to explain why you're waiting. You don't need their permission. You don't owe anyone instant access to your emotions. Access is earned. Control is maintained. This discipline will feel uncomfortable at first. Because you are breaking an addiction. Yes, addiction. Most people are addicted to reacting. It gives them a sense of release. A false sense of power. But every reaction trains the world how to treat you. If you react quickly, people learn you're easy to provoke. If you react emotionally, they learn where your weak points are. If you react loudly, they learn you lack restraint. Restraint is strength. It's not about suppression. It's about discipline. You will notice something interesting when you stop reacting. People become uncertain. They talk more. They reveal more. They expose intentions. Because chaos can't control calm. That's the key. Your job is not to win every moment. Your job is to remain unmovable. When someone tries to provoke you and you don't react, you win. When someone expects an emotional response and gets silence, you win. When someone tries to rush you and you slow down, you win. You have a choice. Let me be clear. This is not about becoming cold. This is not about becoming passive. This is not about avoiding confrontation. This is about choosing when and how to respond. Power is selective. Weakness is reactive. Every time you pause, you build mental muscle. Every time you delay, you increase leverage. Every time you choose response over reaction, you reclaim authority. That authority compounds. You start to feel different. Calmer. Heavier. More grounded. People feel it too. They speak differently around you. They hesitate. They adjust. Not because you demand it, but because discipline commands respect. That's the key. This chapter is your foundation. If you cannot control your reactions, nothing else in this book will work. You cannot master silence, detachment, or emotional restraint without first mastering the pause. So your instruction is simple. Today, notice your triggers. Pause before responding. Delay decisions. Choose discipline over impulse. You have a choice. Always. You've learned how to stop reacting. Now it's time to learn how to weaponize control. Chapter 2. Emotion is a weapon, use it or lose it. Emotion is not the enemy. Lack of control is. Most people misunderstand this completely. They think strength means having no emotion. They think toughness means shutting everything down. That's wrong. Emotion is energy. Raw power. Fuel. And like any weapon, it can protect you or destroy you. Leaking emotion makes you weak. Controlling emotion makes you dangerous. That's the key. Every emotional leak is a loss of leverage. Every visible reaction gives away information. Every uncontrolled outburst hands power to someone else. Control is the advantage. You have a choice. Look around you. The people who dominate high-pressure environments are not emotionless. They are disciplined. Elite athletes feel fear. They feel doubt. They feel pressure. But they don't leak it. A professional athlete doesn't panic when the game tightens. They slow down. They narrow focus. They execute fundamentals. That's not talent. That's emotional discipline. Soldiers don't survive chaos by being fearless. They survive by being controlled. They feel adrenaline spike. They feel threat. And they channel it into precision. That's the key. Negotiators don't win by reacting. They win by regulating. They listen. They pause. They let the other side talk themselves into mistakes. Leaders don't command respect by venting. They command respect by remaining steady when everyone else is unstable. Control is the advantage. Now understand this clearly. Emotion itself is neutral. What matters is what you do with it. Weak people leak emotion. They vent. They rant. They overshare. They react publicly. Strong people compress emotion. They store it. They aim it. They release it deliberately. It's not about anger. It's about discipline. It's not about fear. It's about control. You have a choice. Every time you feel an emotional surge, something important is happening. Your body is giving you data. Anger shows where boundaries are crossed. Fear shows where stakes matter. Frustration shows where expectations are misaligned. But data is only useful if you analyze it. If you obey it blindly, it controls you. That's the difference between power and weakness. Most people don't control emotion. They confess it. They explain how they feel. They justify it. They broadcast it. And then they wonder why they are manipulated, dismissed, or ignored. You don't need their permission to keep your emotions private. You don't owe the world access to your inner state. Privacy is power. That's the key. Here's the rule you will live by now. Feel everything. Show nothing. This does not mean suppressing until you explode. It means processing internally before expressing externally. There is a massive difference. Expression without discipline is leakage. Expression with intention is influence. Control is the advantage. To do this, you need awareness. You cannot control what you do not recognize. That's why you will implement a daily emotional audit. Every day. 5 minutes. No excuses. You sit quietly. No phone. No distractions. And you ask 3 questions. What emotion showed up today? What triggered it? How did I respond? Not how did I feel justified. Not who was wrong. How did I respond? That's the key. This audit trains pattern recognition. You start to see the same triggers repeating. Certain people. Certain tones. Certain situations. Triggers are predictable. And predictability allows preparation. Elite performers don't wait to feel calm. They train calm under pressure. You don't rise to the occasion. You fall to your level of discipline. That's the truth. When you know your triggers, you can preload responses. You can decide in advance. If this happens, I pause. If they provoke, I stay silent. If pressure rises, I slow down. Decide once. Execute always. You have a choice. Understand this next point deeply. Emotion multiplies action. Uncontrolled emotion multiplies mistakes. Controlled emotion multiplies effectiveness. That's why the same anger that ruins one person fuels another to dominate. It's not about the feeling. It's about the discipline. When emotion spikes, your job is not to release it. Your job is to redirect it. Redirect anger into focus. Redirect fear into preparation. Redirect frustration into improvement. That's the key. You do not eliminate emotion. You weaponize it. And weaponized emotion requires restraint. Restraint is not weakness. Restraint is delayed force. A blade stays sheathed until the moment it's needed. A disciplined mind does the same. Most people pull the weapon too early. They show their hand. They lose leverage. Control is the advantage. Let me be blunt. If people can read your emotions easily, you are easy to control. If people can predict your reactions, you are already compromised. You don't need to intimidate. You don't need to dominate verbally. Calm dominance is enough. Silence plus composure creates uncertainty. Uncertainty shifts power. That's the key. Your assignment is simple but uncomfortable. For the next week, stop explaining how you feel. Observe instead. When emotion rises, name it internally. Pause. Decide how, or if, it should be expressed. Most of the time, it shouldn't. Not because you're weak, but because you're disciplined. It's not about being cold. It's about being precise. It's not about suppression. It's about command. You have a choice. This chapter builds directly on the last one. You learned how to stop reacting. Now you are learning what to do with the energy you used to waste. Emotion is a weapon. Use it, or lose control to those who can. Control is the advantage. And once you control your emotional output, something powerful happens. You stop giving people ammunition. You stop feeding conflict. You stop being pulled into chaos. You become harder to move, harder to read, harder to manipulate. That stability is the foundation of mental strength. You've learned to control your reactions. You've learned to compress your emotions. Now it's time to learn when silence becomes your greatest leverage. Chapter 3: The Discipline of Holding Your Tongue. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is leverage. Most people talk too much. They explain. They justify. They defend. Not because they have something important to say, but because they are uncomfortable with quiet. That discomfort exposes insecurity. That's the key. Every unnecessary word weakens your position. Every emotional explanation gives away leverage. Every attempt to be understood too quickly reduces authority. Silence, used correctly, does the opposite. You have a choice. You can speak to soothe your emotions. Or you can speak to move reality. One leaks power. The other concentrates it. Most people speak to calm themselves. They talk to release tension. They talk to feel safe. They talk to prove worth. That is not communication. That is confession. And confession is expensive. You don't need their permission to be quiet. You don't owe anyone instant access to your thoughts. Privacy is strength. That's the key. Let's break this down in real terms. In arguments, the first person to over-explain is usually the weaker one. They rush to fill the space. They stack words. They repeat themselves. Why? Because silence creates pressure. And pressure exposes intent. When you stop talking, the other person reveals themselves. They get uncomfortable. They ramble. They escalate. They show their hand. That's leverage. In disagreements, silence forces clarity. If someone has a strong position, they don't need many words. If someone has a weak position, they bury it in noise. Listen carefully. Strong people speak less. Weak people narrate more. That's not arrogance. That's discipline. It's not about being mute. It's about being precise. You have a choice. Consider a workplace conflict. Your idea is challenged publicly. Most people react immediately. They defend. They explain context. They justify intent. And in doing so, they lower their status. A disciplined response is different. You pause. You listen. You let the challenge hang in the air. Then you ask one clear question. Or you make one clean statement. No emotion. No over-explaining. That silence before you speak signals confidence. It signals control. That's the key. Now look at personal relationships. When someone is emotional, they often want you to react emotionally back. They want validation through engagement. If you meet emotion with emotion, conflict escalates. If you meet emotion with silence and calm, the dynamic shifts. Silence does not mean ignoring. It means refusing to be pulled into chaos. You don't argue with storms. You let them pass. That's discipline. Silence forces the other person to confront their own emotional output. Without your reaction, their energy has nowhere to land. And that unsettles them. Control is the advantage. Now understand this rule clearly. Speak only with purpose. Never to soothe emotion. Never to prove worth. That's the standard. If your words do not clarify, direct, or decide, they are likely unnecessary. That's the key. Most people fear silence because they confuse it with weakness. They think if they don't respond immediately, they lose. In reality, silence delays commitment. And delayed commitment preserves leverage. You have a choice. Silence buys time. Time allows judgment. Judgment leads to better outcomes. That's not passive. That's strategic. Look at power struggles. The person who needs the last word is already losing. The person who can walk away without explaining owns the frame. You don't need to win arguments verbally. You need to win positioning. And positioning is built through restraint. It's not about being right. It's about being respected. That's the key. Here is the discipline you will practice. When challenged, do not respond immediately. Take one breath. Then another. Let the silence stretch just slightly longer than feels comfortable. That discomfort you feel? That's your old habit dying. Good. Then ask yourself one question. What is the minimum necessary response? Not the most clever. Not the most complete. The minimum. Often, that minimum is silence. Or a single sentence. Or a question that shifts pressure back. You have a choice. Silence is especially powerful when emotions are high. When someone is angry, talking more adds fuel. When someone is manipulating, explaining feeds the tactic. Silence starves both. That's the key. This does not mean you avoid hard conversations. It means you don't perform during them. You choose your words. You choose your timing. You choose your exposure. It's not about fear. It's about discipline. Weak silence hides. Strong silence observes. Learn the difference. Another rule. Never speak to correct how someone feels. Feelings are not logic. Silence lets emotions burn themselves out. Then reason can enter. Most people interrupt that process. They rush to fix. They rush to calm. And they absorb responsibility that isn't theirs. You don't need their permission to let others manage their emotions. That's the key. Now, let's address the internal side. Silence is not just external. It's mental. Stop narrating your life in your head. Stop rehearsing arguments you don't need to have. Mental noise leads to verbal noise. A disciplined tongue starts with a disciplined mind. Practice this daily. Before you speak, ask, is this necessary? Is this timely? Is this strategic? If the answer is no, stay silent. You have a choice. This discipline will feel uncomfortable at first. People may push. They may fill the silence for you. Let them. Every extra word they speak gives you more information. Every emotional spill they make strengthens your position. That's not manipulation. That's awareness. Silence reveals truth faster than confrontation ever will. That's the key. Remember this. Talking feels productive. Silence is productive. Talking feels powerful. Silence is powerful. It's not about sounding smart. It's about remaining unmovable. You mastered reaction control. You learned to weaponize emotion. Now you are learning to withhold your words until they matter. This is how emotionally unavailable strength is built. Calm, controlled, unreadable. And once you stop leaking words, something else becomes obvious. Attention is finite. Energy is finite. Where you place it determines your life. You've learned when not to speak. Now it's time to learn where not to invest. Chapter 4, Don't feed what you want to kill. Attention is fuel. Emotion is fuel. Reaction is fuel. What you feed grows. That's not philosophy. That's mechanics. Every time you react to disrespect, it strengthens. Every time you engage with toxicity, it multiplies. Every time you obsess over what drains you, it wins. That's the key. Most people are not defeated by external forces. They are defeated by what they refuse to stop feeding. You have a choice. You can continue pouring energy into what undermines you. Or you can starve it until it collapses. Starve the weakness. Strengthen the discipline. That's the rule. Let's be clear about something uncomfortable. Many of the problems in your life persist because you keep them alive. Not intentionally, but emotionally. You argue with disrespect instead of ignoring it. You explain yourself to people who don't care. You replay insults in your head long after the moment has passed. That mental replay is attention. And attention is nourishment. That's the key. Look at workplace dynamics. There is always someone who provokes. Someone who undermines. Someone who tests boundaries. Most people respond with emotion. They vent. They complain. They confront impulsively. And nothing changes. Why? Because the behavior is being rewarded with engagement. Disrespect feeds on reaction. Drama feeds on participation. Manipulation feeds on explanation. You don't need their permission to disengage. Silence, distance, and indifference are not avoidance. They are filters. Starve the weakness. Strengthen the discipline. That's the key. Now let's talk about family and close relationships. This is where most people fail. Because familiarity lowers discipline. Old patterns resurface. Triggers are personal. History is heavy. Someone knows exactly how to get a reaction from you. They poke. They criticize. They guilt. And you respond automatically. That response keeps the cycle alive. You have a choice. You can keep reacting out of habit. Or you can break the loop through restraint. It's not about being cold. It's about being controlled. You don't correct behavior by rewarding it with emotion. You correct behavior by removing access. That's the key. This does not mean you tolerate abuse. It means you stop negotiating with it emotionally. Boundaries are not speeches. They are actions. If someone consistently disrespects you, your attention is the prize they are seeking. Remove it. No argument. No announcement. No explanation. You don't need their permission to withdraw energy. Starve the weakness. Strengthen the discipline. Now look at social dynamics. Online outrage. Comparisons. Validation loops. People get trapped reacting to opinions that do not matter. Strangers. Comments. Noise. And every reaction reinforces the habit of external control. You give strangers authority over your mood. Over your focus. Over your time. That's expensive. That's the key. Attention is a finite resource. Where you place it determines what grows in your life. If you feed resentment, resentment grows. If you feed discipline, discipline grows. It's not about anger. It's about allocation. You have a choice. Here is the hard truth. Some people want you distracted. Some environments benefit from your emotional instability. Some systems thrive when you are reactive. Calm people are hard to control. Focused people are hard to manipulate. That's why discipline matters. Starve the weakness. Strengthen the discipline. Now let's get practical. Here is the behavioral shift you must make. When something triggers you, pause. Ask one question. Does engaging with this move my life forward? If the answer is no, withdraw attention immediately. No mental replay. No venting. No delayed arguments in your head. You cut it clean. That's discipline. Most people think discipline is force. It's not. Discipline is subtraction. You subtract reactions. You subtract emotional leakage. You subtract unnecessary focus. What remains is power. That's the key. Another rule. Do not try to kill distractions by fighting them. You kill them by ignoring them. Fighting still feeds. Ignoring starves. This applies to cravings, to people, to habits. The urge weakens when it is not rewarded. You don't need to feel strong to act disciplined. You act disciplined to become strong. It's not about motivation. It's about systems. Now understand this distinction. Ignoring is not suppressing. Suppressing stores pressure. Ignoring is redirecting. You take the energy and point it somewhere else. Work, training, skill, progress. Starve the weakness. Strengthen the discipline. That's the key. You will notice something interesting when you do this consistently. The world gets quieter. Not because problems disappear, but because you stop amplifying them. Noise needs attention to survive. Without it, it fades. So do weak patterns. So do toxic dynamics. People who thrived on your reaction will escalate at first. That's normal. It's extinction behavior. They push harder because the old stimulus stopped working. Hold the line. Silence. Distance. Consistency. Eventually, they adjust or disappear. Either outcome is a win. You have a choice. Now bring this inward. What internal habits are you feeding? Self-doubt. Overthinking. Fear narratives. Every time you replay them, you reinforce them. You starve those too. You don't argue with negative thoughts. You don't analyze them endlessly. You redirect focus. Action beats rumination. Structure beats chaos. That's discipline. It's not about being fearless. It's about being selective with attention. That's the key. This chapter is about responsibility. Not blame. Responsibility. You are responsible for what you feed. No one can force you to react emotionally. No one can make you stay engaged. You have a choice. Every day. Every moment. Starve the weakness. Strengthen the discipline. As you remove attention from what drains you, something else becomes clear. Your energy returns. Your focus sharpens. Your standards rise. And once your standards rise, another shift is required. You must decide what deserves your effort at all. You've learned to stop feeding what you want to kill. Now it's time to decide what is worth building. Chapter 5: The Power of Delayed Responses. Speed feels powerful. But speed is often weakness in disguise. Immediate replies. Instant reactions. Rapid explanations. They signal urgency. They signal need. They signal emotional dependency. That's the key. When you rush to respond, you hand control to the other side. You show them they matter more than your composure, more than your timing, more than your judgment. You have a choice. You can react on impulse, or you can respond on your terms. Delayed responses are not passive. They are strategic. They create space. They restore leverage. They force clarity. That's the key. Most people confuse responsiveness with respect. They think answering immediately makes them valuable, available, liked. In reality, it makes them predictable. And predictability is exploitable. Look at any negotiation, any power dynamic, any argument. The person who speaks last usually sees the whole picture. The person who waits gathers information. The person who delays controls the tempo. Speed is the enemy of wisdom. That's the truth. When you respond too fast, you respond emotionally. When you wait, emotion cools and logic returns. You don't need their permission to slow down. Let's talk psychology. When you delay, something interesting happens. The other person fills the silence. They explain more. They justify. They reveal intent. People expose themselves when you don't rush to meet them. That's the key. Silence and time pressure work together. They make the other side uncomfortable. They remove your need to defend. And discomfort reveals truth. This applies everywhere. At work. In relationships. In conflict. Someone sends a provocative message. A criticism. A demand. Your instinct is to reply immediately. To clarify. To defend. That instinct is the trap. You have a choice. You can feed the moment. or you can control it. Delay does three things at once. First, it protects you from saying something weak. Second, it signals self-control. Third, it shifts power back to you. That's discipline. It's not about fear. It's about restraint. It's not about indecision. It's about timing. Now let's break down real-world scenarios. In relationships, impulsive replies escalate conflict. Texts become weapons. Tone is misread. Emotion multiplies. Delayed responses de-escalate without apology. You don't argue while flooded. You wait until calm returns. That's not avoidance. That's leadership. You don't need their permission to pause. In the workplace, instant replies signal subordination. They show you are always on call, always reactive, always accommodating. Deliberate timing signals priority management. You respond when it aligns with your focus, not their urgency. That's the key. In arguments, speed exposes insecurity. The need to be understood immediately. The need to win now. Confidence doesn't rush. Confidence waits. Because confidence knows the truth stands on its own. You have a choice. Now let's address the fear beneath impulsive replies. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear of being ignored. Fear of losing control. Delayed response confronts that fear directly. You sit with the discomfort. You let the urge pass. You choose discipline over relief. It's not about anxiety. It's about training. That's the key. Every time you delay, you strengthen your nervous system. You teach your body that urgency is optional. You build tolerance for silence. And silence is power. Here is the practice. Simple. Uncomfortable. Effective. Delay all non-essential responses. Not forever. Not irresponsibly. Intentionally. Emails. Messages. Comments. If it does not require immediate action, you wait. Minutes. Hours. Sometimes a full day. You review your response after emotion settles. You will notice something immediately. Half the messages no longer need a reply. The urgency evaporates. The issue resolves itself. That's the key. Most conflicts die when starved of speed. Now understand this clearly. Delayed response is not ghosting. It is not manipulation. It is not avoidance. It is pacing. You decide when to engage. You decide how much energy to invest. You decide the tone. You don't need their permission to do that. Another important rule. Never respond while emotionally charged. Anger writes checks discipline can't cash. You think you're being honest. You're just being exposed. You have a choice. Step away. Breathe. Stand up. Change posture. Let physiology reset psychology. Then respond. That's discipline. It's not about the perfect words. It's about the right state. Now consider this. People who demand instant responses are often testing boundaries. They want reassurance of access, of importance, of control. Delayed response resets expectations. It teaches people how to treat you without confrontation. That's the key. You don't argue for respect. You demonstrate it through behavior. Time is a filter. Those who matter will adjust. Those who don't will reveal themselves. Either way, you win. You have a choice. This chapter is about reclaiming control over tempo. Life moves fast. But growth requires pauses. Wisdom lives in the gap between stimulus and response. That gap is where discipline is built. It's not about hesitation. It's about intention. It's not about weakness. It's about mastery. That's the key. When you stop reacting instantly, you stop being emotionally available to chaos. You become selective, measured, stable. And stability is intimidating to unstable systems. Remember this phrase. Speed is the enemy of wisdom. Delay is the ally of control. Repeat it. Live it. You have a choice. You are learning to detach your self-worth from immediacy, from approval, from reaction. And once you master delayed responses, a deeper level of freedom appears. Because timing is only one layer. The next layer is detachment itself. Not coldness. Not isolation. Control. You've learned to pause before you respond. Now it's time to learn when to disengage entirely. Chapter 6, Detach or Be Controlled. Attachment feels natural. But attachment is exposure. The moment you need an outcome, you lose leverage. The moment you need approval, you surrender control. The moment you need someone to act a certain way, you hand them power. That's the key. Attachment creates vulnerability. Detachment creates clarity. You have a choice. Most people misunderstand detachment. They think it means coldness. They think it means indifference. They think it means shutting down emotionally. Wrong. Detachment is not apathy. Detachment is discipline. It's not about not caring. It's about not clinging. It's not about avoiding connection. It's about avoiding control. That's the key. Look closely at where you feel the most emotional turbulence. That's where attachment lives. Romantic relationships, work environments, friendships, anywhere you're afraid to lose something, anything you're afraid to say no to. That fear is leverage for the other side. You don't need their permission to see this clearly. In romantic relationships, attachment shows up as overinvestment. You replay conversations. You analyze tone. You chase reassurance. You're not seeking connection. You're seeking certainty. And certainty is control disguised as love. That's the key. When you need someone to choose you, you stop choosing yourself. When you need them to stay, you tolerate behavior you shouldn't. It's not about love. It's about dependency. And dependency is weakness. You have a choice. Detachment restores balance. You still show up. You still care. But you stop bargaining with your self-respect. You stop shrinking to keep someone close. That's discipline. In the workplace, attachment looks like fear of disapproval. Fear of being overlooked. Fear of losing position. So you over-explain. Overwork. Over-accommodate. You trade boundaries for security. And security never comes. That's the key. The more you need validation from authority, the less authority you project. The more you seek approval, the less respect you command. It's not about ambition. It's about discipline. Detach from outcomes. Attach to standards. You don't need their permission to operate with self-respect. In friendships, attachment shows up as obligation. You feel guilty saying no. You tolerate disrespect to avoid conflict. You confuse loyalty with self-betrayal. That's the trap. True connection doesn't require self-abandonment. You have a choice. Detachment means you observe behavior instead of explaining it away. You see patterns instead of excuses. You respond to reality, not hope. That's the key. Now let's talk about emotional zoom out. This is the skill that changes everything. When something triggers you, you don't dive in. You step back. Mentally. Emotionally. You zoom out. You watch the situation as if it's happening to someone else. You ask 3 questions. What is actually happening? What story am I adding? What response serves my long-term position? That's discipline. Most people absorb emotion like a sponge. They internalize tone. They personalize behavior. They react as if everything is about them. It's not. You don't need their permission to stop internalizing chaos. Observe. Don't absorb. That's the rule. When someone is angry, you don't become angry. When someone is anxious, you don't become anxious. When someone is manipulative, you don't become reactive. You stay centered. Calm. Grounded. Neutral. That neutrality is power. That's the key. Detachment interrupts manipulation. Manipulation requires emotional hooks. Fear. Guilt. Urgency. When you don't bite, the hook fails. People can't control what they can't move. You have a choice. Now understand this clearly. Detachment does not mean you stop caring about outcomes. It means outcomes no longer control your behavior. It's not about indifference. It's about independence. It's not about withdrawal. It's about sovereignty. That's the key. Here is the daily practice. When something matters deeply to you, pause and say this internally. I will act with integrity, not attachment. Repeat it. When you feel the urge to chase, prove, or explain, pause. Ask yourself, am I acting from discipline or fear? It's not about emotion. It's about control. You don't need their permission to slow down and choose yourself. Another critical distinction. Detached people are not passive. They are decisive. They walk away faster. They enforce boundaries earlier. They accept outcomes without collapsing. Because they are not bargaining with reality. That's the key. Attachment says, I need this to work. Detachment says, I will be fine either way. And that mindset changes how people treat you. It commands respect without demanding it. You have a choice. This chapter is about reclaiming ownership of your internal state. When nothing external can hijack your emotions, you become unmovable. And unmovable people are dangerous, in the best way. Not aggressive. Not loud. Stable. Stability is intimidating to those who rely on chaos. Remember this phrase. Attachment creates vulnerability. Detachment creates clarity. Say it again. Live it. It's not about coldness. It's about control. It's not about avoiding connection. It's about avoiding dependence. That's the key. You are learning to stop handing your power to outcomes you cannot control. You are learning to stand firm regardless of response. And once you master detachment, another truth becomes unavoidable. You don't owe the world your emotions. You don't owe explanations. You don't owe access. You don't owe disclosure. You mastered not reacting. You mastered delayed responses. You mastered detachment. Now it's time to protect what's left. Your inner world. Chapter 7, You don't owe the world your feelings. Most people give away their power without realizing it. They do it through words. They do it through emotion. They do it through oversharing. They think transparency is strength. They think vulnerability is always virtuous. They think expressing everything makes them authentic. It doesn't. It makes them exposed. That's the key. You do not owe the world your feelings. You do not owe explanations. You do not owe emotional access. Privacy is power. You have a choice. Oversharing weakens your position because emotion is information. Information creates leverage. And once it's out, you don't control how it's used. That's not cynicism. That's reality. Look at how people behave when they know your fears, your doubts, your insecurities. Some will sympathize. Many will exploit. Most will quietly adjust how they treat you. You don't need their permission to protect yourself. Boundaries are not coldness. Boundaries are discipline. It's not about being closed off. It's about being selective. That's the key. When you share too quickly, too deeply, too often, you create imbalance. You invest emotionally before trust is earned. You assume safety where none has been proven. That's not openness. That's impulsivity. It's not about honesty. It's about control. You have a choice. In relationships, oversharing looks like emotional dumping. You unload every thought, every fear, every insecurity. You think closeness comes from disclosure. It doesn't. Closeness comes from consistency, from respect, from time. When you give someone your entire inner world before they've demonstrated reliability, you reverse the power dynamic. They learn you faster than you learn them. That's the key. In the workplace, oversharing looks like venting, complaining about stress, revealing frustration, talking about doubts. You think you're being real. What you're actually doing is signaling instability. It's not about teamwork. It's about discipline. You don't need their permission to be composed. Strong professionals manage emotion privately. They don't outsource regulation to colleagues. You have a choice. In friendships, oversharing looks like constant emotional access. You're always available, always explaining, always processing out loud. You mistake availability for loyalty. But unlimited access erodes respect. That's the key. Privacy creates mystery. Mystery creates gravity. Gravity creates respect. This applies everywhere. The person who speaks the least often holds the most influence. The person who reveals the least is hardest to manipulate. Silence protects leverage. It's not about secrecy. It's about sovereignty. You don't need their permission to keep parts of yourself private. Now understand this clearly. This is not a call to suppress emotion. Suppression leads to explosion. This is a call to contain emotion. Containment is strength. You feel deeply, but you choose carefully where that depth is expressed. That's discipline. It's not about emotional numbness. It's about emotional ownership. You have a choice. Here is the rule. Emotional disclosure must be earned. Never impulsive. Never automatic. Before you share, ask yourself 3 questions. Has this person demonstrated discretion? Has this person earned my trust through consistency? Does sharing this serve my growth or just soothe discomfort? That's the key. If the answer isn't clear, the answer is no. You don't need their permission to pause. Another truth most people avoid. Oversharing is often a coping mechanism. A way to release pressure. A way to feel seen. But external validation is a weak substitute for internal regulation. It's not about connection. It's about discipline. Strong people process emotions internally first. They journal. They reflect. They regulate. Only then do they decide if sharing is necessary. That's the difference. You have a choice. Notice how powerful people communicate. They are measured. They are calm. They reveal in layers. They don't rush intimacy. They don't oversell emotion. They let others earn access. That's the key. Boundaries protect energy. Every emotional interaction costs something. Attention. Focus. Stability. When you give that away freely, you weaken your foundation. It's not about being guarded. It's about being intentional. You don't need their permission to guard your inner world. Another important distinction. You can be kind without being open. You can be respectful without being revealing. You can be warm without being exposed. Boundaries do not eliminate connection. They refine it. That's the key. People who respect you will respect your boundaries. People who don't were never safe to begin with. That alone tells you everything. You have a choice. From this moment forward, stop narrating your internal state. Stop explaining your emotions in real time. Stop processing aloud with people who haven't earned it. Pause instead. Regulate first. Decide second. Speak last. It's not about repression. It's about discipline. And discipline is freedom. As you practice this, something will change. Your words will carry more weight. Your presence will feel stronger. Your reactions will diminish. Because nothing leaks anymore. That's the key. You are not closing yourself off. You are closing the door to chaos. You are choosing stability over exposure. Control over comfort. Discipline over impulse. You don't owe the world your feelings. You owe yourself composure. You mastered detachment. You learned to observe instead of absorb. You reclaimed emotional sovereignty. Now there is one final shift that separates those who merely survive from those who dominate their inner world. Calm. Not surface calm. Unshakable calm. The kind that wins without force. The kind chaos cannot touch. Chapter 8, The Calm One Always Wins. Most people misunderstand calm. They think calm means passive. They think calm means weak. They think calm means disengaged. They are wrong. Calm is dominance. That's the key. The calm person controls the room because chaos cannot attach to them. Emotion bounces off. Pressure finds no grip. You have a choice. In every tense moment, there are two roles available. The reactive one. And the regulated one. One leaks power. The other accumulates it. It's not about confidence. It's about discipline. Calm is not something you feel. Calm is something you practice. Most people wait to feel calm before acting. That's backwards. High-level operators act calm first. The body leads. The mind follows. That's the key. Look at leadership under pressure. The leader who panics spreads instability. The leader who stays calm becomes the anchor. Teams mirror emotional tone. Rooms take their temperature from the most regulated person present. You don't need their permission to be that person. In negotiation, calm is leverage. The one who rushes loses. The one who fills silence exposes need. The calm negotiator waits. Listens. Allows the other side to talk themselves into revealing position, fear, and urgency. Silence does the work. That's the key. In conflict, calm disarms aggression. Anger feeds on reaction. It needs resistance. When it meets calm, it collapses. This is why emotionally volatile people escalate when you don't react. They feel powerless. They feel unseen. And power shifts. You have a choice. Most people think winning an argument requires intensity. It doesn't. Intensity is a tell. It signals emotional investment. The person who cares less emotionally always has the advantage. It's not about cruelty. It's about discipline. Calm keeps you thinking while others are feeling. That's the key. Now understand this. Calm is not natural. Your nervous system evolved for threat. Reaction is default. That's why calm is trained. If you don't train regulation, stress will train you instead. You don't need their permission to train yourself. The body is the gateway. Before words. Before decisions. Before responses. Regulate the body. Here's the first rule. Control your breath. Short, shallow breathing tells the brain danger is present. Long, slow breathing tells the brain you are safe and in control. When tension hits, slow the exhale. 4 seconds in. 6 seconds out. That's the key. Do not rush speech until breath is stable. Next, posture. Slumped posture signals submission and uncertainty. Collapsed posture feeds anxiety. Stand tall. Shoulders back. Head level. Not aggressive. Not performative. Stable. It's not about appearance. It's about nervous system alignment. You have a choice. Body language speaks before words. Stillness communicates confidence. Fidgeting leaks emotion. The calm one moves less, speaks less, but carries more weight. That's the key. Now voice. Calm voices are slower, lower, measured. Speed is a giveaway. When people talk fast, they are trying to control the outcome. When people talk slow, they already have control. It's not about dominance. It's about discipline. Pause before you speak. Let silence do the work. You don't need their permission to pause. Now apply this to real situations. At work, when tension rises, most people rush to defend. They explain. They justify. They overtalk. The calm professional listens first. Acknowledges briefly. Responds deliberately. They don't match emotional volume. That's the key. In relationships, calm prevents escalation. When emotions spike, one regulated response can shut down a cycle that's lasted years. Not through logic. Through stability. It's not about winning. It's about control. In leadership, calm builds trust. People trust those who don't crack under pressure. Those who don't outsource emotion to the room. You have a choice. Every time you regulate yourself, you send a signal. I am not controlled by this moment. That signal compounds. Over time, people stop testing boundaries. Stop provoking. Stop pushing. Because calm is intimidating. That's the key. Now understand the deeper truth. Calm is not suppression. Suppression stores emotion. Calm processes it in real time. You still feel. You just don't leak. It's not about numbness. It's about mastery. It's not about fear. It's about discipline. And discipline always wins. Here is your action rule. Before any response that matters, run this sequence. Breathe. Posture. Pause. 3 steps. Non-negotiable. 10 seconds can save years of damage. You have a choice. Practice calm when nothing is wrong. Train it in low-stakes moments. So it's available when stakes are high. That's the key. Calm is a muscle. Ignored, it weakens. Trained, it dominates. As you master calm, you will notice something else. Pressure stops feeling like a threat. Stress stops feeling personal. Because when calm is stable, pressure becomes fuel. And that changes everything. You've learned to stop reacting. You've learned to control emotion. You've learned to protect privacy. You've learned to regulate your body and presence. Now it's time to confront the final illusion. That pressure is something to avoid. It isn't. Pressure is the test that reveals who you really are, and whether your discipline is real. Chapter 9, Pressure is a privilege. Pressure is not your enemy. It is not a curse. It is not something to avoid. It is a privilege. That's the key. Pressure reveals who you are. It doesn't create weakness. It exposes it. Every time life presses you, it doesn't decide your fate. It shows your preparation. It shows your discipline. You have a choice. You can crumble under it, or you can use it. Pressure doesn't break you. It builds you. Repeat that in your mind. Say it aloud if you must. Pressure doesn't break me. It builds me. This is the mindset that separates the committed from the casual. The ordinary from the elite. Elite athletes thrive under pressure. They don't hide from it. They train in it. They simulate it. They invite it. The Navy SEAL doesn't wish for calm waters. He trains in storms. He practices stress. He conditions his body and mind to excel when it matters most. Entrepreneurs don't wait for perfect markets. They launch under uncertainty. They confront fear. They endure failure repeatedly. And they come back stronger each time. It's not about luck. It's about discipline. Pressure is the ultimate mirror. It reflects everything you've ignored, everything you've avoided, everything you've tolerated. And it shows what you're capable of. That's the key. Most people run. They complain. They panic. They give in to the discomfort of the moment. That's weakness. It's normal, yes. But it's optional. You don't need their permission to stand firm. You don't need external validation to endure. You have a choice. Pressure doesn't ask if you're ready. It doesn't care if you're comfortable. It doesn't negotiate. It simply exists. And how you respond determines everything. Think about it. Every time you faced a deadline, a confrontation, a financial strain, or an unexpected crisis, how did you react? Did fear take control? Did frustration dictate your next move? Or did you harness it, convert it into focus, energy, and calculated action? That's the distinction. It's not about avoiding difficulty. It's about cultivating the mindset and the discipline to thrive in it. Here's the reality: stress sharpens those who are prepared. It dulls those who are not. The human body and mind are built for challenge. Adversity is a natural stimulant. It forces clarity. It forces decision. It forces resilience. But only if you embrace it. Only if you meet it head on. You have a choice. You can flee from the discomfort. Or you can invite it in, study it, learn from it, and grow stronger. Let's be clear. Pressure is not punishment. It's the ultimate training ground. The same heat that melts metal also tempers it. That's the key. Every high-pressure situation is a test. It tests patience. It tests focus. It tests character. It tests your emotional control, your mental toughness, your quiet discipline. When under pressure, habits reveal themselves. Training reveals itself. Discipline reveals itself. The weak seek excuses. The average blames circumstances. The strong act. You don't need permission to be strong. You don't need approval to endure. You have a choice. Now, how do you build that strength? First, voluntarily enter controlled discomfort. Do things that challenge your mind, body, and patience. Wake up early on days you want to sleep in. Push physical limits in training. Practice difficult conversations you're tempted to avoid. Sit with your fears instead of hiding from them. This is training. This is building capacity. Second, embrace small, daily pressures. They accumulate. They condition. They prepare you for the big tests. Do the uncomfortable task first. Speak truth when silence is easier. Finish the work that intimidates you. This is not punishment. This is preparation. Third, adopt the mantra, pressure doesn't break me. It builds me. Repeat it constantly. Let it anchor your mindset when chaos arrives. When deadlines tighten. When conversations spike in intensity. When the unexpected hits. You have a choice. Every time you face discomfort, you decide, weaken or grow. Every time life tests you, you decide, panic or respond with calm and focus. Every time pressure lands, you decide, complain or convert it into leverage. That's the key. Understand this: real resilience is forged, not given. It's cultivated in the crucible of repeated stress. It's reinforced by habit, reflection, and action. The person who fears pressure never grows. The person who seeks to avoid it never evolves. The person who trains under it, who disciplines under it, who endures, becomes unstoppable. Pressure is a privilege. It is the ultimate opportunity to show your strength. Remember, you don't control life's pressure. You control your response. You control your body, your focus, your composure. You control your decisions. Discipline your response. Control your reaction. Master your mind. You have a choice. You always have a choice. Practice discomfort daily. Welcome challenge. Measure growth by how well you endure. And when life escalates, you will rise, not panic. Elite performers, warfighters, leaders, and legends, none are defined by the absence of pressure. They are defined by what they do under it. Pressure doesn't break you. It builds you. And that is your edge. Action step. Identify one situation each day that challenges you. Step into it intentionally. Observe your reaction, adjust, and repeat. Every voluntary pressure moment trains you for the involuntary ones. Every step into discomfort increases your resilience. Every pause before panic strengthens your capacity to endure. Remember, it's not about comfort. It's about growth. It's not about avoidance. It's about mastery. It's not about the easy path. It's about the disciplined one. You have a choice. You always have a choice. Prepare for the next lesson. You mastered calm under chaos. You trained your response under pressure. Now, let's explore the final truth about achieving lasting mental strength. Chapter 10, Emotional Restraint is Power. Emotional restraint is not weakness. It is not coldness. It is not avoidance. It is power. That's the key. You have a choice in every interaction. You can react instantly. You can let emotion dictate your next move. Or you can hold back, pause, and respond with control. Emotional unavailability is not indifference. It is self-mastery. It is mental strength in action. It is the deliberate decision to control yourself instead of letting circumstances control you. Think about the people in your life who overreact, who lash out at inconvenience, who escalate conflict, who let their feelings dictate behavior. Do they command respect? Do they hold power in negotiations? Do they inspire loyalty or fear? No. They are enslaved by their own emotions. You don't need to be like them. You have a choice. Discipline is what separates the controlled from the uncontrolled. Silence, detachment, delayed response, and patience, they are not restrictions. They are tools. Let's break it down. Silence. Speaking without purpose diminishes power. It reveals insecurity. It exposes weaknesses. When you choose to remain silent, you force others to reveal themselves. You observe. You measure. You respond only when it counts. Detachment. Attachment creates vulnerability. When you need approval, validation, or attention, you surrender control. Detach from the need for external validation. Observe events and people without absorbing their chaos. This is not coldness. This is clarity. Delayed response. Speed is the enemy of wisdom. Instant reactions reveal emotional dependency. Delay responses to gain perspective. Minutes, hours, or even a day. Let pressure and emotion reveal the true landscape. When you respond, it is deliberate. It is precise. It carries weight because it is considered. Discipline. This is the thread that ties everything together. Without discipline, silence becomes avoidance. Detachment becomes apathy. Delayed response becomes procrastination. Discipline transforms these behaviors into a controlled, strategic identity. You have a choice. Every time someone triggers you, you can fall into the trap of reaction. Or you can pause. You can control. You can respond with power. That's the key. Now, think about the impact of consistent emotional restraint. You become harder to manipulate. You become more predictable to yourself. You become respected by others. Your decisions carry weight because they are measured, not impulsive. It's not about suppression. It's about discipline. Repeat that aloud. Say it until it sinks in. It's not about suppression. It's about discipline. Notice the difference. Suppression is fear. Discipline is control. Suppression buries emotion without direction. Discipline channels it. Discipline converts energy into strategic advantage. Discipline lets you move through life without being controlled by chaos. Real-world examples abound. The negotiator who stays calm while the room panics controls the outcome. The CEO who remains detached from flattery or criticism maintains vision. The elite athlete who delays reaction to provocation focuses entirely on execution. The leader who chooses silence over reaction commands attention and respect. These are all expressions of the same principle. You don't need to justify your composure. You don't need permission to hold back. You don't need to explain why you remain calm. You simply act with control. You simply choose discipline. Action is always better than explanation. Action steps *. 1. Pause before speaking * every day. Identify one moment where your instinct is to react emotionally. Pause. Take a breath. Respond deliberately. 2. Detach mentally *. Observe one challenging interaction without absorbing the emotional content. Watch how it feels to maintain neutrality. 3. Delay responses strategically * 4. Non-critical messages or confrontations, wait before replying. Use the time to assess the best course of action. 4. Daily reflection * journal instances where you exercised emotional restraint. Reinforce the behavior with conscious acknowledgement. Each step strengthens the foundation of self-mastery. Each moment of restraint compounds over time. Each choice builds the controlled identity that emotional unavailability embodies. Remember, this is not about being distant. It is not about shutting people out. It is not about suppression. It is about discipline. It is about strategy. It is about power. Power that is quiet. Power that is patient. Power that cannot be shaken by chaos, criticism, or manipulation. The world will always try to provoke you. It will always demand a reaction. It will always present opportunities to relinquish control. Do not give in. Hold your stance. Master your emotions. Use restraint as a tool, not a cage. You have a choice. You can follow the path of the reactive, the emotional, the weak. Or you can choose discipline. You can embody control. You can cultivate power in silence. This is the ultimate lesson of emotional unavailability. It is not coldness. It is not distance. It is not passivity. It is a refined, deliberate, disciplined form of strength. When mastered, this principle touches every part of life. It strengthens relationships. It enhances leadership. It elevates decision-making. It protects you from manipulation. It fortifies your mental resilience. Every chapter we've covered, the pause, the silence, the detachment, the delayed response, the embrace of pressure, they converge here. They converge in emotional restraint. And that is power. It's not about suppression. It's about discipline. It's not about weakness. It's about control. It's not about avoidance. It's about strategy. And now, armed with these principles, you are no longer subject to the whims of others. You are in command of yourself. You are the master of your emotional landscape. You have a choice. You always have a choice. Use it. Exercise it. Own it. Emotional restraint is your power. Discipline is your tool. Control is your freedom. And that is the final truth of mental strength. Now, go apply it. Silence when provoked. Detach when pressured. Delay when rushed. Discipline every response. Your life is the outcome of your choices. And you have a choice. That's the key. Conclusion. You've learned how to stop reacting. How to hold your tongue. How to detach without becoming weak. How to stay calm when others lose control. This is what emotional unavailability really is. Not coldness. Not distance. Discipline. When you control your emotions, you control your outcomes. When you stop seeking validation, you gain authority. When chaos can't reach you, nothing can move you. You don't need permission to be disciplined. You don't need approval to be calm. You don't need noise to prove strength. Your challenge is simple. Practice restraint. Choose silence. Master yourself, every day. Because the calm mind always wins.